I'm Joshua Simon.
I'm Sam Joe.
And we are
The SG Boys, that little gay podcast from Singapore.
Subscribe and find us on Instagram at The SG Boys.
The gay month is upon us. We're joined by the incredible, very moisturized,
Pink looking, always wearing pink. The last few times I've seen him.
The picture, you know what I mean, must pink a bit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
He also just came back from some red wine.
Yeah, so that's why.
Red wine that put some color on my cheeks.
Absolutely stunning.
The liquid blush, as they say.
The incredible, the incomparable Haris Zaidi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I must say this is my very first podcast.
Like ever?
Ever.
Well, you're definitely not a stranger to the microphone, especially if you've gone to Pink Dot, we would have heard your voice.
Yeah.
On stage, and then during the COVID years, we pivoted to
online
studio, right?
Yes.
YouTube. Yeah.
I remember that was the first time I saw you, or like I had any inkling of you. I think it was one of the pandemic broadcasts of Pink Dot, and you were there. You were emceeing, I think together with Pam Ooi.
I was.
And this year, Haris is the festival director for Pink Fest.
Not Dot. Because a lot of people see Pink all happening in June. What's the difference?
We've never talked about this. Back then when Pink Dot started, there was only like one, right? And then there was just one day in the year where you can like, wow, all pride and, celebrate. But I think 15, 16 years down the road, I am surprised and happy to say that there are over 85 LGBTQ plus community groups out there. 85 leh, right?
A straight person is listening going, there's 85 gays.
Yeah.
We all started out with Pink Dot. I started out just like, okay, I have no time for this committee meetings and hours because I ran an event agency. So I just want to chop kalipop, volunteer my staff to do the organization, to do planning and all the budgeting, because it's very easy for us, right? So it started out like that. And then when I closed my agency, that was when I thought I have a bit more time. I have experience acting, going on stage, emceeing. So I started out just like housewarming MC lah, as in like housekeeping actually, like toilet is here, if you get heat stroke, go there, don't bring this, don't smoke, all those things, right? And in the end is the don't litter, this and that. Thank you everybody, see you next year. I'm that lah.
Yes.
The facilitator.
The housekeeping MC. As a matter of fact, the first time we met, Joshua, was when I introduced you on stage. You were singing, you were performing. I forget which Pink Dot that was, but you were singing.
Yeah, I think it was 2019.
I introduced you. You were wearing something shiny. That's all I remember.
God.
Yeah.
Was it the one where you sang the Little Mermaid song?
Yeah, part of your world. Yeah, I did.
Roll the clip.
No. There is no clip.
There's no clip there.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
But the incredible thing is, was Sam Joe in the crowd?
I don't know. So I was going to say, you're probably wondering, like, how come I didn't know of you earlier, right? I was telling you about the pandemic, Pink Dot and everything. My first Pink Dot was quite late into my life. The Pink Dot before pandemic? Yeah. Because I was like, I was struggling with my own demons and also, not quite sure of myself for the longest time after coming back to Singapore. So it took me a while, and I'm thankful for people like you and friends and even the community at large, right? I mean, seeing you on stage also galvanizing everyone and just being so confident with who you are gave me a lot of inspiration. So just want you to know that even for me who was watching from home, and then finally I plucked up the courage to go. You'll be surprised, right? Like, it looks like I was ready from the get-go, like, I was there from Pink Dot 1, but no, it actually took me a long time.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's how everything connects actually, because like your story, and then you introduced me on stage. That's the first time we met. Samjo and I ended up doing the podcast, and then now you're on the podcast.
Ooh.
How incredible is that?
I mean, and it's little stories like that actually keep us going, because it's a lot of work, and sometimes it's event management, oh my God, security, getting people here, and then, dealing with small details like when they present their IC, what if their IC is a picture of a boy? This person is in transition. They haven't got to that stage yet. So it's small details like that where we ask them, if you're not the same as in your IC. Please send us your picture before, and then we will inform our security people. It's details like that. Like we have to make sure all the toilets we put gender neutral. Anyone can go there. So sometimes we get just lost in how to do it sensitively, how to do it correctly. Don't antagonize, play on the safe side, and all that. That we forget why we do it. And hearing Samjo tell me that. Oh my God. Yeah. It's just, really worth it for us.
Beyond the protest as well, right? Beyond that one day, we've been having Pinkfest.
Yeah. Pinkfest started 6 years ago in 2019. We needed to diversify ways people can interact with that message. Because after a while, Pink Dot, it's the same format, and after a while, sometimes I find that my friends don't go. It's not they don't support. They say, "Hey, darling, very hot lah. We'll be at Park Royal, okay? We'll wave," and that's it. The whole of Park Royal gets completely booked out, right?
Yeah,
it's become like all the parties and everything,
right.
and
so
they're all like,
there, but in spirit, not
they're there in spirit, really in spirit.
Yeah,
but it's just that. Yeah, it's very hot. Once I go in, must queue up and all that, right?
Leceh, very leceh, yeah.
But there's some of us in the committee, we just felt that I think we need to get this out of Hong Lim Park. Actually, instead of just doing one event, how about we do several events? Instead of just saying, this is Pink Dot, you all come and attend, you organize what you want for your community and for your business, for your organization.
Yeah.
So that's the whole mechanics. Yeah. We send out a call for proposal. We want to promote events that promote a Singapore that has a space for everyone.
Yeah. So we're talking like queer entrepreneurs, artists.
For queer people.
Yeah.
Hey, got one festival for you. And then we started attracting allies, and the allies are within our committee itself.
Yeah.
Straight people who are like, yes, we like what you stand for, and they lend their time, they lend their expertise in marketing.
Or like family members, friends that also may not feel comfortable with going to Pink Dot itself, maybe a bit too serious.
Correct. And it's also sometimes it can be quite intimidating, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, we're all pink and I'm in a train. And some people are just not so comfortable with that, right? Even for that one day, right?
Or they don't want to have to show their IC.
Yeah, and all that. So we get that, right?
Okay.
So that's why for us, Pinkfest checks all the boxes, because it's like, okay, it's not just one event. It's many kind of events. There is workshops, there is meditation, there is yoga, Pilates you want to run. And for us, it just frees us from actually organizing all these small, tiny events. It's all self-run. What we do is that we help promote them. Right? We just give us your assets, we'll put it all in a calendar, and we'll promote this calendar. What we do take care of is like the signature events.
Yeah.
Right. So every June, the format is the same. Every weekend, leading up to Pink Dot, we will put anchor events on the weekends, right? Pasar Pink, which is a social market, a bazaar.
We love a bazaar in Singapore.
Super fun, right?
We like to
You have
browse,
pride merch, you
walk.
have music, you have booze, you have drag queens.
People can
and-
bring their pets.
and their families,
Yeah.
and then they can
The
like
babies.
pride merch before Pink Dot. So we always do that in the first 2 weekends, right? Projector will do pink screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Movies are amazing for telling stories.
Yeah, this year has Bugis Street, I think.
Bugis Street is the opening film. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Film.
Yeah. The
Significant.
1995 when they first screened it. Then after that, 20 years was banned in Singapore. I did not know. And then they bring it back. They are flying the director, Yon Fan,
Wow.
is flying down. And I think they're trying to assemble some of the original cast. Revisiting a part of Singapore queer history that was effectively erased, right? Bugis Street used to be so notorious or popular or famous, whatever.
Colourful.
Colourful. But
Yeah.
if you said Singapore, at that time, everybody were like, yes, Bugis Street.
Wait, to the person going, huh? Bugis? Bugis looks fine. What? Bugis is Arab Street.
Bugis
is-
Plus, Bugis
Yeah.
Cube, all the malls now.
got Raffles Hospital there.
Like across from Bugis Junction, where that very chachat bazaar looking place, it was all clubs, open air restaurants and
the
cafe.
Burger King, the one where the bus stop is?
Yes, behind. Yeah.
Really?
No, there is a kind of like a pasar malam area.
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
of course.
The whole place. It was a very bustling. At that time, they called them transvestites, right? Yeah, at that time they called them transvestites, and then they had beauty pageants, like fabulous beauty pageants, right? It was the time of Vietnam War, right? So all the American sailors, when they docked in Singapore, would go to Bugis Street.
You're describing like a very different Singapore than
Yeah.
we know.
Yes, a very different Singapore. And did you know Singapore was the first country in Asia that started sex reassignment operations?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Really?
all came here, yes, to do their sex change operation.
I know this from the tour that I went on.
The Queer Walks thing?
Yes, Isaac's tour, and I helped to lead it also. So for when he was away, so I know because Benjamin Shears, by the way, our former president,
Stop.
was the one who pioneered vaginoplasty, the technique.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dr. Benjamin Shears.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God.
Fun fact. So Singapore actually was well placed to, I mean, at some point, like you said, it was the hub, but time went on, it became like an optional module for all those who wanted to be gynecologists, right? People ended up dropping it, and I guess it got expensive in Singapore also. So not everyone goes to Thailand, right? I mean, among other places, if you think of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
never think Singapore. I mean, okay, well, that's why his name is Benjamin Shears.
No, that thought did
Yeah.
cross my mind.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows him for the bridge, but
Yeah.
now you know something else. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so when I was thinking about that, actually Singapore's, it's interesting, right? It's like Bugis Street, and then we were the hub of sex change operations back then. And during the time of Friday, it was the number one city in Asia, way before Bangkok, that had the nation parties.
Yeah,
was
right.
epic at Sentosa. This was during Goh Chok Tong, 2 prime ministers
Yeah.
ago, where he
Wow.
said it's okay. Some people are born this way, some people are born that way,
way.
and we're all the same. So it's interesting.
Yeah, we had Johnson on the show in our previous seasons, and he talked about the nation parties as well.
Right.
Like, it's quite shocking how, like, at least for our generation, for Samjo and I, millennials, it's like Singapore has always been like, there's no queer history, there's no nothing, everything's not allowed, everything is censored. So then to hear all these stories, it's like, no, there was actually a lot of queer history. It's
Yeah.
that we were not taught any of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it was like just swept under, right?
Yeah.
And kind of, unfortunately concealed and hidden from
It's
us.
always one step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps
Yeah.
back, right? There where we progress, and then after that the powers that be, cannot, too much. And then it's like, and then they err on the safe side a lot, and then there was a readjustment, right? Yeah.
what it was like back in the day. There was so much color, and there was, it was a very unbridled and very, how do I say?
It feels so free.
Yeah, it felt like anything went, right? I mean, when I think of Bugis Street, I always hear other people telling me Bugis Street was known for
Like it's
the
soy
fire
cowboy.
performances.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the fire performances.
If you ask for a visual representation of Bugis Street, right? Something to do with flames and body parts. I'll leave you all to go Google that. Yeah.
But I'm thrilled that the projector is bringing back the Bugis Street, so people would have a peek. This generation, this time now, would have a peek of that Singapore. I'm looking forward to seeing it, because I'm like, I think I must have seen it like when I was like, 25? I know, 1995. I would love to watch it after having done Pink Dot, after having seen repeal go down, pronouns change. I want to like see how I feel looking at that piece of cinematic history, right?
From where you are right now.
From where I am right now, yeah. From where Singapore is right now, right?
Yeah. It's giving me Joni Mitchell both sides now.
Yeah.
I've looked at life on both sides now, right? Because it's, You mentioned Pink Screen. You talked about Inclusive Careers Fair. Pasar Pink. There's one more, right?
The first time we're doing this year, it's Fashion for All. We're like, hey, we got film, we got theatre, we got corporate careers fair. How come no fashion one? How can? Right? How can? Like,
Was it really like that? All of you was like, how can?
Yeah, how can no fashion
Throwing
one?
things at each other.
Yeah. So it was 2 years in the making. How do we get entry? And then it's like somewhere in the industry, right? There's so many queer people. It's driven by queer people. So which begs the question. It's like what makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion designers, models.
Call
Hello,
everyone.
darling.
Yes.
Hello. Then how come no fashion festival, right? Fashion, like film, is very powerful. Ultimately, our message is one of a Singapore where there's space for everyone. We're not fighting for queer rights. We are fighting for equal rights, for human rights, right? And we want a Singapore, we want to be moving towards a Singapore where really you can be your whole selves at the workplace, every day. And that's the genesis of why we did Fashion for All. A fashion festival where people are just free to express themselves. We celebrate people of all ages, of all body shapes, ethnicities, abilities, identities, sexuality. So that was the answer to our question. We actually managed to get a meeting with Singapore Fashion Council at Design Orchard. And then we went in the design angle. So to them, yeah, we can celebrate design. Last year was too fast, too soon. And so we thought, okay, so to do it this year will give us enough of a runway
I saw that coming.
for us to make it happen. We approached designers who already had inclusivity in their DNA. Daniel Boy, who's like this fashion legend, right? He choreographed
Icon.
all the shows. So he and Brendan Barker, I think a pioneer model, and he also produces fashion shows, basically handpicked the whole collection of brands who they felt really represented the message.
Samjo and I really would like to model and walk the runway.
Josh, we already missed the boat. They had like open auditions. Do you know that?
No, but we skipped the auditions, right?
Okay, all I'm telling you is that as festival director, I do not make the decisions.
Yeah.
What? You bring him here?
You must talk to Daniel Boy.
Yeah, you must talk to
the wrong
Daniel Boy.
person.
Yeah.
Or Brendan Barker. Barking
yeah.
up the wrong tree.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
getting really real. Singapore Fashion Council has been amazing.
But I have no doubt that you all do it well.
You know, I
will.
have no doubt that
Yeah.
it's going to be an amazing show.
Yes.
So much so, I'm like, okay, I'm already planning year 2, year 3.
You see?
Everything just wove in, right? And like Proud Spaces, right? The new community space that some of us have opened, like I think a couple of months ago. Everything just weaves together. Pink Dot, you do the advocacy, you do the protest, you bring all these discrimination things and all that. You deal with policy, you deal with all the various government members, and they're so well equipped for that. Whereas Pink Fest, we are the soft power.
The culture.
The culture,
people.
the lifestyle, the
Inward
arts.
facing.
Yeah. Inward facing, but outward focused, right? Yeah.
I think also we got to remember like our community is healing. The consensus that we reached was that our community needs time to heal, right? After years and years of being censored, being silenced. And something like Pink Fest can be very useful also to the person who maybe feels a bit too intimidated to go to Pink Dot.
Yep.
And is looking for healthy social activity to even get a seat to a movie like Booker Street and just like quietly book a ticket and then watch. That is very helpful already to that person in their journey as a queer person.
Yeah, giving them various multiple choices, really like Pilates, yoga, anything. And yeah, so last year we even had like bondage art, a class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, done by Disco Danny and his partner, right? So he does all these installations, bondage installations. Yeah.
Like
so
how
it's-
to tie the rope. And
Yeah, there is I can't remember the name. There's a Japanese name for it, right?
Yeah.
And again, for us is we had to have this conversation internally. Are we going to be gatekeepers? Are we going to play it safe? Are we going to self-censor, our own, these kind of expressions, right? So for us, it's like, okay, as long as we put the rating, you are advised.
Why it can actually be really, really powerful having it be part of something like Pinkfest and have it be out in the open that you can sign up and get tickets for and all that, right? As a queer person looking at something like that, it's in porn. It's something that's explicit. It's something that you hide and you feel ashamed about and you don't explore openly with conversations, not with people around you in a safe, healthy environment. So a lot of the things that we learned through making mistakes. We learned through talking to our friends and being like, what's the right thing to do? Is this a kink? Is this not? Is this too far? Whatever. So for a queer person to go to these things in a very mature manner, open mind, I think that's very important.
What we did was just really open call for proposals, and people were brave enough to just like, I want to do an orgasm workshop. I want to talk about sexual hang-ups. Men's Choir, they're doing a performance.
Where can we see all that's available?
Pinkfest.sg. We have 120 events this year. It's like really something for everyone.
You mentioned being a minority and growing up, and we also talked about how we've all been on a journey and like we've been changing. I just want to know from where you started as a young boy, how has getting involved with Pinkfest in particular, changed you?
I grew up minority, right? I was this HDB. I'm Jenny from the block,
Block?
Yeah.
Which block?
153 Serangoon North Avenue 1, y'all.
All right, represent. Yeah, where my Serangooners at?
Exactly. So, yeah, it was a very different Singapore, right? I went to an all-boys school, and then there was no such thing as queer, at that time, because if you like boys, then you must be a girl. So all of us started like walking this way, wearing lipstick, because that was the binary in our heads, right? And as you grew older, you're like, no, I just like men. I don't have to be like a woman. Like sex change, everything never entered my mind. I just like had to style myself effeminately. Not that I wasn't born a queen, but it was like, must like lambe a bit, swish, because that was how it was in your head, right? 2 weeks ago, I did a Hari Raya party, and it was really meaningful to me because in many sense, it was my queer Raya healing. So I had a party, and I invited the people from Trans SG. So I had Malay trans men and women, the gay boys and the queer girls, from Kuasa, and everybody all dressed up in baju. It was baju kurung, baju Melayu, kebaya. My mom was there, my husband was there. I welcomed everybody. It was unreal, and it was just incredibly healing because, you grow up, for me, I was like, hiya, Malay and gay, and then the eldest son. So I had all these chips on my shoulders, right? And then after that, got the minority complex cherry on top, right? So it was just like, wow. So, and then religion, some more high.
It was a lot for Haris from the block.
From Haris from the block. That's why I assimilated. I became Harris. Right? Yeah. So it was, and then some more don't look so Malay, can just like pass off, right? So, and that was my coping mechanism, right? I assimilated. I only spoke English, right? And then even my enunciation was very studied, right? Cannot sound like Bawa block, that kind, go school, that kind, yeah. So it was this whole inferiority, minority complex that I internalized that pushed me to overcompensate in everything that I did. It's a very common narrative, it's a very common trope. I embrace it now, but it was one of those things where these are just demons from your past that you have to reckon with. You cannot banish them, but you can recognize them for what they are, which is basically something in you that you disassociated, that you rejected. Yeah. A lot of your healing will come from one realization. All this has just been a remarkable process of healing. I'm healing myself. I'm doing this for other people, but it's also for me. I can do something active Instead of like whining, alamak, minority this and whatever, I can do something, right? So it's kind of like there's a bunch of us and we keep on attracting the same shiny, happy people who are healing themselves along the way. All this is happening concurrently. You cannot celebrate only after you've healed. It doesn't happen. It all must happen at the same time, right?
Yes.
Right.
Young, old, this, that, whatever, right? And I'm just glad we're all on that bus, right? Spoiled for choice, still conflicted, there's still, I don't know, this to fight, that to banish. There'll always be shadows lah, but I'm just saying that keeps it fun. If you find your tribe and if you be the light and you keep on dancing, I think can.
Haris just took us to church right there, everyone. Give it up for Haris.
I don't know what to say.
That was the single greatest moment of our podcast ever.
I feel so inspired right now.
Yeah, we're going to clip this out. And then it actually brings me to my last question. And I ask this on behalf of Semjo as well. We know that you're a father. What is the Singapore that you hope your children will grow up and see?
Being a father has been the single most transformative, most healing part of my journey as a gay man. There is no such thing as a gay parent. You are just a parent. Your child doesn't give a flying rat's ass. I am hungry. I just pooped in my diaper. You change it now. You get a grip of all that shit that's going on your head and you just get it together. So it's just like, wow, it's just very sobering. And also remarkably healing, because when you're carrying your child, you're like, oh my God, I know God exists, because the love that you feel in your heart for someone who doesn't deserve it, who could grow up to be a serial killer, you're just like, oh my God.
You never know. You never know.
You just never know. Right?
Yeah.
Through that, right, you're just healed in so many ways, because you screw up as a parent. Because of that, you forgive your parents, because everybody was just trying to do their best.
Yes.
Right? And you, in so many levels, and I'm so grateful my mother is still alive, that they know their grandmother, right? And all that. And none of this was ever in the menu, y'all. You grow up in my generation, where got such thing? Where do you, right? And it's still a very difficult, almost impossible thing to happen, right? And then, and it's difficult for us to keep our children in Singapore. I won't go too much into that. I'm just saying that, the laws prevailing, and especially after 377A, optically, they need to seem that they are protecting the institutions of family and marriage from people like us. As if we don't have families, as if we don't have parents, as if we don't have a right to have children. So there's still, I know we're all happy, but there is still a lot to be done. Am I imagining a future for my children? I don't think that far, because I think in my lifetime, I've seen Singapore change so much, right? That I think the future is really very fluid and like it's going to change more than we can possibly imagine. I don't know, maybe passports won't matter. Being in Singapore so much won't matter. Maybe they'll be global planetary citizens, right? How I survive all this is that I imagine I'm from Starship Enterprise and I'm just shimmying down into a holodeck called Singapore. Oh, how quaint. Look at how they treat their homosexuals. And you don't get identified. You go back 100 years before that, and you see this is how they treat the Chinese. This is how they treat the women. This is how, what I mean? So once you have a certain kind of like idea of the arc of history, right? You're not so identified at your particular struggle at that one point of time.
Yes.
Then you see society, civilization needs time. We have advanced. There is still further advancement ahead. Wherever you are, they say the grass is always greener. And I always say that, yes, it's because you don't water your own lawn. That's why the grass is always greener on the other side. So you have a choice. You either go away, are you a quitter, are you a stayer? But my point being is that wherever you are, you have a choice. I chose to dig in my heels and start working where I was. Whether change or don't change, we can't really control it, but we just do our best to the best of our abilities. Then we won't have any regrets, right? I don't know where I'll end up, but for me, I think at 52, there is a interesting sense of faith, and I'm not religious, that the river will take us there, that I am optimistic. I just look from Bugis Street until now, like, got advanced one, got some improvement, right? Like, actually got a lot. Is there more to go? Yes. So just keep dancing, just keeping on it, right? Yeah.
Keep smiling.
You know what?
Stop.
You know what I was gonna say? You know what I was gonna end this episode with?
Always count on me.
I was gonna say, and there you have it, our very first episode where Samjo is not singing. I'm Joshua Simon.
I'm Samjo.
And we are
The SG Boys.
That little gay podcast from Singapore.
Subscribe and find us on Instagram at The SG Boys.
The beliefs, views, and opinions expressed on this podcast are attributable to its hosts only and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, organization, company, or individual.